Hi, 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 hi. How y'all doing? Hi, hi. Oh my god, my god, my god. I'm not gonna waste any time today. We are going to be possibly finishing up the rest of Arches, and then that'll be one visual novel that we played on here that's fully complete. Well, maybe until I do a stream where I read the side stories that I released for the final build of this game. But yeah! Oh my god! Now, I'm not anxious today, but that's only because we're out of fucking Echo. Brian is dead. Duke, for some reason, helped us. Well, helped Artie, but so a huge weight has been lifted off of my chest because of this game. And you know what? And people have said that Hallie is a bad writer. Like, really? When this game exists? Jesus fucking Christ. Anyway, I got tea with me and everything. I just shared the stream across at least 2 social media platforms. And we're going to continue. No time to waste. Do not put that thought in my head. He is dead. He's dead. He's dead. He's dead. He had a heart attack. He is done. He is done. Anyway, let's see. The terrible change comes almost exactly 3 weeks later. Cameron had been feeling quite strange ever since they got back home. Like he wasn't quite himself. After a flurry of hospital visits, police interviews, and even harassment from the media, things had become strangely quiet. He is a broken road. That's Brian's last name? Brian Dubois was a serial killer with a victim count in the double digits, with all of the murders taking place over the course of nearly 4 decades. That would get national attention, of course, especially since Brian appeared to be involved in the high profile disappearance of a college freshman last year, which is the person we saw in the beginning of this visual novel. Don't think I didn't catch that. The body cam footage of their dramatic rescue from the mines even made the rounds on social media. French ass last name. For about 2 days. At the same time, a pandemic was picking up steam, and all media attention focused on that instead. Cameron didn't mind. That lack of attention made his recovery much easier. Which his burst liver and severely damaged kidney had left him needing surgery. The hospital did what they could for his elbow, and his doctors were hopeful that with a lot of his physical therapy, he could at least use it for basic necessities. While it did suck to maybe never be able to bend his elbow correctly, or without pain, what really devastated Cameron was the weakness and constant tingling in his pinky and ring finger left him feeling like he might lose his mind. So for now, despite him being eager to get back to it, guitar was an absolute no. For now. I kind of forgot Corey was canon in this was canon in this universe. Same actually. I was like, oh shit. But what about forever? On top of that, Cameron had been trying to banish that damn voice from his head. No, the negative thoughts from his head, right? Just a flashback? One of the shitty leftovers from his shroom trip. Either way, all he could do was try to ignore it, despite it making itself known at least once a day. Cameron. 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 Something's wrong. But things continued to feel strange. It didn't seem to be related to his ESP, because he could easily tell when that was happening. Ever since the shroom trip, a haze of psychic ability lingered around him, allowing him to capture thoughts and feelings seemingly at random. Downloading is what some people like him like to call it. He didn't have much control though. Sometimes he wasn't even able to tell if the download he was receiving was from the living or the dead. Cameron even began to try to hone his abilities and experiment with just how much he could do. What he quickly figured out was that without some sort of illicit substance, his clairvoyance lacked a great deal of fuel that had powered his abilities in Echo. That would make it easier, and so would being in an active location like Echo. Echo is the only one of those places, though. There are so many others. He's a desert lake. Every now and then, Cameron would find himself pausing as a chill would run down his spine, like he did near the back door of Devon's parents' house. That feeling always meant an echo was attached to something, somewhere nearby. That's what Cameron called the beings. Not exactly intelligent or even living, but entities that interacted with and usually threatened the living. In that particular case, it emanated from under the back porch. When he told Devon about it, the bear knew immediately what Cameron was talking about.
Oh yeah, I hear something moving under there all the time, like a person crawling around. Even Dad says he saw red eyes under there once.
Being more sensitive doesn't exactly answer questions, though. Like, why is it there? Where does it come from? What the hell even is it? All he knows is that it's not a person, and it never was a person, because they're all demons. And while Cameron had seen that old spark of interest in Devon's eyes, he had told Cameron to just ignore it and focus on their visit, for now. And also to please not mention it to his parents while they were there. Devon just wanted everything to go away, quietly, like it never happened. That included Cameron's abilities. That was at the end of the second week, and over the course of his life, Cameron would look back on that visit as one of the last times he was truly himself. He's a trailer home in the Southwest. Ooh. Why are we going back at Brian's place? We're getting closer to it. By the third week, Cameron was recovering at a remarkable rate, and so Devon began to pay Artie more visits and phone calls. Oh yes, Artie, let us know how he's doing. Arturo's improvement was also rapid, but Cameron was left feeling a little sad that Artie never asked to talk to him. It would only ask Devon how the coyote was holding up. It made sense, he would tell himself. Devon and Artie go back further than even Devon and himself did. Sure, something had felt off, but considering the circumstances, nothing was normal at the time. But as the third week progressed, what had been bubbling out below the surface made itself fully known. We're getting closer. We're in his house. Get the fuck out of his house! Ugh! The only thing that seemed to be getting back to normal were his dreams. Sometimes he'd still wake up whimpering, or crying thinking he was back in Echo. Devon had it far worse, waking up in a Halloween panic, yelling about guns, chains, and death. Those were the times when Cameron did his best to give comfort and support. At least as best as his patched up and sore body could manage. But now, as time grows between him and what happened, Cameron feels like a part of him is missing, like he's not fully present. It's like pieces of him litter the town of his trauma. It felt like he was still there, in a way, and when that feeling really started to set in, that's when it happened. A small pressure in his right ear started to develop. It was something that he was sure had to do with the hearing loss he experienced from the shotgun blast. It was irritating, and it felt bizarre. They had set up another appointment with Cameron's audiologist a few weeks from then. The hearing loss was likely permanent, but then something began to replace it. Right in the middle of the afternoon. April 2020, the height of the pandemic. Oh dear. Where were you guys during the height of the pandemic? I was still working at my job for an extra $3 an hour. Come later that year, I was doing TikTok. Cameron starts working again that week. He wants to feel useful again, and because they're both working from home now, it seems like a reasonable idea. Devin didn't want him starting yet, of course, but Cameron wants that sense of normalcy to come back faster, and his shitty job had seemed like the perfect solution. Trying to work with mostly one paw does come as a bigger challenge than Cameron had expected, not realizing how much he used his non-dominant one. Typing is particularly slow, but he was damn better at managing it. Still, it makes him sluggish, and even though his boss is understanding, even telling him to just forward any rude customers her way, it still leaves him occasionally flustered in ways he isn't used to. After a harsh call that begins with, "Thank God, someone I can finally fucking understand," then ends with, "You know what would have been faster?" Cameron waits for an answer. "Anything! This is the last time I buy some, well, ass phone made in some shit factory." Cameron rubs his eyes, wondering how different the interactions would be if they did face-to-face video calls. This phone was actually assembled in the States after Helion pledged. It's not the answer the man wants to hear. Oh my god, fucking Acer registration background test has not working. Shut the fuck up and close the damn task. Jesus Christ. Anyway, oh my god. Okay. It's not the answer the man wants to hear, Cameron can tell before he even gets cut off. "Transfer me to your superior, please." "Of course, one moment." As Cameron reaches for the button to his boss's line, he hears the man muttering under his breath. "Didn't know they hire that for customer service." Click. No big deal. He would get one or two of those every week, and according to his coworkers, it got worse since the pandemic started. Yes, because the pandemic kind of made everyone worse. People are just so fucking rude. They're so fucking rude, they're fucking disrespectful, and they have no sense of courtesy. Especially online. Jesus Christ. But why did that one hurt his feelings so badly, to the point that his eyes are welling up with tears? Maybe it's because they've been to hell and back, and that man has no idea. No idea. Oh. Oh, is he getting a panic attack? Then his computer screen seems to move further away, like he's seen a dolly zoom, like vertigo. Pressure grows in his right ear, and he realizes that maybe that's what's causing the strange feeling of being off balance as the world tilts. But no, he's tripping again. It's a flashback. Just a flashback. No, it's brain damage, and you probably feel like this forever. Brian poisoned you. Cameron holds very still, positive he didn't think those thoughts just now. And you are a fucking, well, that. Can't handle a little customer stereotype? Just smash the keyboard and admit you can't work anymore. Cameron brings a paw up to his right ear, where the voice came from. Is his headset still on, or? No, and you can feel me in your ear. What the fuck do you think that feeling was? You stupid shit. Absolutely worthless. After that, Cameron remembers very little except panic, followed by confusion. A ton of confusion. His thoughts make no sense. The voice that is definitely not his thoughts doesn't make sense. and now he doesn't understand where he is. The voice continues to encourage him to smash his keyboard, so he does, just to see if maybe it will break this bizarre half-dream. Devin, in his own study, hears this. After finding Cameron sobbing on the ground, surrounded by black plastic keycaps and bleeding from reopened stitches, a frantic Devin drives him to the hospital. Jesus Christ. Maybe I'll stop if you grab the wheel and turn into the median. Is this Sam? Sam, you're a dick. What the hell? For old time's sake. And he doesn't even need a fucking fan. Look, Mom, no fans. The voice snickers. It continues to laugh at him all the way to the psychiatric ward. Damn. October 2020. This was the month where I started my TikTok journey. Where I started doing My Hero Academia TikToks that blew up. And Yagami Yato impersonations. If y'all don't know who Yagami Yato is, that is a throwback. Oh my god. I don't remember it's confirmed who it is, but it doesn't feel like Sam to me. He should still be in chase anyway. Okay, but then who is this entity then? That's so funny. If it's not Sam, then who is it? Because I feel like in Echo Canon, the only ghost that haunts a person's mind and is like an absolute dick to them would be Sam. I'm thinking right now. I'm like, okay, so, I know I said like in one of the earlier streams of this game that I believe that this probably would take place like at the end of TG's route, because that was the route where you get the Cameron and Devin secret ending, after credits ending. But to support my theory that this could be Sam, this could be Sam. Wait a minute. No. The entity said for old time's sake, so this person has been in Cameron for a while now. What is with entities trying to possess mentally broken people? Ugh! Oh my god, Cameron is Chunter, but coyote form. Anyway, about 7 months after Echo, and 6 months after his first episode, Cameron feels worse than he did right after Echo. The voice that had wormed its way into his damaged ear had disappeared after just a few days of antipsychotic treatment, but it returned again, and again, every few days. Whenever he feels rejection or guilt, whenever he gets into arguments with Devin, and really, whenever it pleases, it makes itself known. It comes in a deep masculine voice, though sometimes it's Brian-like in how it taunts and laughs at him. Short asides that were sometimes mean, sometimes meaningless, and sometimes boring. All about the things Cameron would do, and the people he would see. It feels like it's trying to remind Cameron things aren't okay as weeks continue to come, and go with manageable but clearly presents psychotic symptoms. He had worried his broken arm would stop him from being able to play music as well as he used to. Turns out he didn't have to worry about that at all, because he doesn't give a fuck anymore. Like a switch, his interest, his motivation, his want to do anything productive or useful seemed to just turn off. His thought process had been wrecked, and the disorganized thought during his episodes became present even when he wasn't having one. His mother said she needed meth because it fought those feelings that her psychosis brought on, which was brought on by the meth. A vicious cycle. You're only moving in what, everyone? Circles! There you go. And speaking of which, he finally got his diagnosis. Schizophrenia, likely induced by his genetics combined with its drugging and trauma in Echo. Not that it really matters when inducing, because the problem is that he has it. There's no taking that back after all. Ooh. Propranolol for restlessness from akathisia. Escitalopram for depression, trazodone for sleep and depression, metformin for managing weight gain, gronfacine for tics. Hey, Ben. Everyone say hi, Ben. Tick. That's a lot of medication he has to take, and PTSD, and clonazepam as needed for anxiety and panic attacks. He tried Xanax at first, but its taste immediately caused a panic attack so bad he couldn't even get it down. Literally because he was force-fed it. Oh my god. There's a familiar burn and tension in the right side of his neck, and his head tilts to the right before coming back up in a sort of twitching movement. Twice. Tick, tick. God. Really? The symptoms of schizophrenia are devastating enough, but so are the side effects of the antipsychotics to treat it. Side effects that are covered up by medications that causes even more side effects, which in turn are maybe more tolerable. The first antipsychotic he tried made him too tired, and his flat effect unnerved Devon even though he never said it. So he was finally switched after 4 months. This switch had dysregulated his dopamine according to his last psychiatrist, and this in turn meant that the motor and vocal tics he once thought were gone are now back. But they weren't just back, they got to come back with a vengeance, to the point that when he got especially emotional, his neck and sometimes his body would go into an uncontrollable twitching fit. At least back when he was a kid, he could control it to some degree, or at very least disguise it. His vocal tics would come at the worst moments, and talking to anyone other than Devon would result in awful humiliations that sometimes even trigger psychosis again. It makes him feel like some kind of freak show. But when a vocal tic involving his diaphragm appeared, one that he's never had before, Cameron really began to despair. It would enforce him to itself for 10 to 15 seconds before holding it until he nearly blacked out. Then it would release, and he would gasp in air again, visions coming back through blurry tears, only for it to happen half a dozen more times in agonizing waves. It was so distressing that each time it happened, it triggered an episode, and he'd be left with so many tics happening at once that even Devon couldn't communicate with him. The familiar tightening in his abdomen signaling the approach of another tic was enough to make him whine and cry in dread. All of this because of that damn pill that was supposed to help him. 3 or 4 of those vocal episodes every day for a week, and Devon had finally had enough and found a different psychiatrist. Thank you! Because the amount of shit he has to be taking? And this is the fault of what exactly, everyone? Capitalism. Anyway, let's continue. This changed everything, and Cameron found himself trusting her far more than he ever did his first psychiatrist. She immediately switched him to another antipsychotic, one that she said would help his tits too. I was gonna say Brian. Honestly true. Still, when Cameron had been readying himself to take his first dose, he broke down and he had cried like a child. He even begged Devon not to make him take it, which just made the whole situation so much worse. What if it caused more problems to show up? What if it made him worse? Cameron read about all the horrible lifelong side effects that antipsychotics can cause. movement disorders like Tourette's syndrome that can stick around even if you stop the meds. All from these little pills, wreaking havoc on the synapses of his brain, changing him forever. More poison, more brain damage. The pressure pulses in his right ear and Cameron rubs at it vigorously. You're the brain damage, asshole.
Fuck you! You always blame everyone else for your problems, huh? Why don't you take the whole bottle? Pathetic faggot. Think you could just talk to me like that? Schizofuck.
Remembering the management techniques his therapist taught him, Cameron takes a deep breath.
Okay, time to take my medication. It's been a few weeks now, and my tits have decreased by over half, and I haven't had a breathing tick in 4 days. I feel like this is good progress. What you think is positive symptoms have decreased by maybe 30% over the last week. Good progress. I just hope my negative symptoms improve as well. That's my next goal once I reach stability. That saying, that voice sounds a lot like Brian at times. Kind of. His thoughts are his own again, and that makes Cameron feel at least a little bit better, knowing that some things are coming easier. But only a little, because while he knows he's taken plenty of steps forward, it seems like he always ends up bad where he started as soon as something goes wrong. He begins opening his pill organizer and pulls out the most important one. At least his psychiatrists have been right, and for once, Cameron can at least see a road to the new him. Despite tolerating ziprasidone much better than the last antipsychotic, it still causes the same side effects that make him need to take all the other meds. At least it's making his tits better. I think maybe Brian's echo got mixed with whatever Cameron already had in his head. Probably? Like to create like an amalgamation of some sort? Tick, tick, tick. Though he doubts they would ever truly go away without being on medication. Devastating on his own, but still controllable, manageable with time. He has to believe that. The sound of pills rattling against plastic seemed way louder than it should, and Cameron hears Devin shift into study. Oh, you're taking them now? Just a sec.
That was fast. Cameron mutters under his breath, feeling just a little resentful knowing that Devin had probably been listening in on his thinking out loud technique. Cameron sighs and picks up the pill again, staring at it closely, as if able to see its molecular structure, engineered to block the dopamine receptors in his brain. The root cause of most psychoses, at least at the molecular level. It's more complicated than that. It always is. Shirtless Dev. Shirtless Botchers Dev. Praise the Lord, hallelujah. Also, what chord is that? I don't play guitar, so I was trying to figure out like what chord is that? I need him. I think we all need him. Divin comes in with just his underwear on. A year ago, it would have been a sight that Cameron would have appreciated. He probably would have put his arms around him and rubbed his face into his chest like he used to. But his sex drive was killed months ago, either from meds or just one of the many symptoms of schizophrenia, and it's just another reminder that he's not who he used to be. While sex is the last thing on his mind, Cameron knows it's important in their relationship. He occasionally would force himself to do it and pretend to enjoy it, but everything ached now, and in the end he'd find himself staring at the silly... Oh god, no. Oh god, honey, no. It's not the most important part. What's important is communication and companionship. Oh honey, no.
Oh, baby. Oh. Devin, of course, noticed and eventually suggested they wait until Cameron felt better, until he actually wanted himself, which only made Cameron feel worse. Oh. Devin? The bar is in hell? The bar is in hell? But you do an absolute gymnastics on that bar. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Oh my god. Devin's libido is stronger than Cameron's ever was, so he knows it must be sexually frustrating for the bear. He can jack off. He can jack off. Like, it's not that fucking hard. Like, literally. What the hell? But right now, Devin is just standing there, smiling pleasantly as he watches Cameron. Make sure you take your poison. It wants your brain damaged more than it already is. A jolt of fear. A dip into the nightmare of unreality. Cameron feels angry at how easily the voice slipped into his thoughts again. Useful poison. Cameron whizzes at the crazy coming out of his mouth. Sorry, I'm just thinking out loud, if that's what you're wondering. Okay, that's good that you're doing that. Remember, it does seem to act up right before you take your medication, so don't worry about it too much. Yeah, you know I don't need you to watch me anymore. It's quiet as Cameron swallows the pill, angling himself so that Devin can see. Then he swallows it with the rest of the 5 or so pills he holds in his paw. Cameron finishes swallowing those, knowing that in an hour he won't be able to keep his eyes open, cutting short the time he would have spent with Devin. They don't really go out anymore. Right? Or do you still not trust me? No, I agree with you, but we also agreed I'd do it for at least a year, just in case. Even if you said you were fine, remember? Cameron hates the fact that he's right. Yeah, because you don't trust me. Spitefully, Cameron turns to show Devin the underside of his tongue, as if the bear might be suspicious he's high in it. Cameron? You want to do a cavity search too? Hey, you know, maybe that could be our solution. I take my meds and you get to play with my ass. Cameron feels the burst of anger from Devin, and for some reason it feels good. That's kind of a fucked up thing to say, don't you think? Why would I even care about that right now? Devin's already sounded angry, way quicker than he usually does when Cameron provokes him like this, and suddenly they're in a fight. The ones they never had before Echo. I know you care about it, Devin. I can feel it from you every fucking night. Are you kidding me right now? Devin's voice troubles with emotion. He's more hurt than angry. And then they all woke up and this was all just a nightmare. The end. Thank you. Please. Howley, come on. Stop torturing me like this. I don't need this. Cameron should do something to help him, to soothe him, but instead he wants this fight. For a moment, he even wants Devin to hit him, to punch him right in the face, and end everything as they know it. Kill him. Grab one of the knives. Imagery flashes in his mind's eye of a knife sticking out of Devin's neck. An imagined scene he never asked for, but it's insistent, showing him various ways he could use the knife. Oh no. Not much for them to lose anyway. It would free Devin from the burden that is Cameron's brain. Why do you want me to take my meds when I don't want to anyway? Pretty different from college, right? This is so different, Cameron. I know I talked shit on stuff like that before, but this is not the same. Yeah, because this is actually dangerous. It's because I'm a problem to you now, and you want me to take whatever will make me act halfway normal, even if it makes me feel like shit. I want you to get better. I'm not going to get better, Devin. This is permanent. That doesn't mean you can't get better. That's the whole point. And then I'll relapse. If you relapse, we'll help you get better again. I probably won't even even be able to get off the meds. You know, I don't even care about the stupid voice anymore, or even the tics. Oh, I'll make you care, you piece of shit. Shut up! Cameron's shout reverberates through the kitchen, and he senses all the typical emotion he gets from Devin these days. Worry, distress, fear, pity. Tick, tick, tick. Cameron takes a second to refocus his scattered mindsets. His train of thought that seemed to derail mid-sentence. It feels like my soul has been sucked out, and I don't know if it's the meds or the crazy or just me, but I hate it! I hate it too! I hate it so fucking much! I hate that you feel this way, that's why I'm doing this! But you don't even have a fucking clue what this is like. No one does! They just think that if you're on your meds, all's good! You're right, I don't. But all I think about almost every minute of the day because I see you suffer and I want to stop it. Lies. Idiot. Fucking faggot. Better to stab yourself if you won't stab him. I'm probably suffering because of the meds. It's like back in college, but 10 times worse. I can't write or even listen to music anymore. I don't want to do anything. Come on, Cameron. This is the main reason people relapse. Remember what the psychiatrist said about time and patience for yourself. But what's the point in taking meds if I feel this way? This isn't living death. You need time. A year at least. And maybe even then we can start tapering off, but not now. How the hell will I get off this shit if I'm constantly, out like a freak without it? Oh my god. They're already speculating I'm treatment resistant. That idea makes his stomach churn with dread and anxiety, and he even feels his diaphragm tensen up just slightly. He'd read too much medical literature, enough to tell him he'd likely have a shitty quality of life. Up to 30 years off his life expectancy, and no end to being a burden on the people around him. Devin feels a burst of anxiety from Devin. Cameron feels a burst of anxiety from Devin too. Then we'll try again, right? While Cameron never thought hard on what he might do, he does suppose he considered ending it. If this is how the rest of his life would play out, he's sure he will eventually. Oh my god. But only when Devin isn't here to take that blow. Hates you. He wants you to die. The voice continues to talk and Cameron rubs his ear, trying to ground himself. Emotionally exhausted and feeling detached. Right. The obvious signs that Cameron's symptoms being aggravated seem to bring Devin back down as well. The bear quickly hugs Cameron. I'm sorry. And I just want to remind you that she was talking hypothetically about you possibly being treatment resistant, so we can prepare for anything. Despite his sore, sensitive skin, it feels good after the burst of anger and despair. I'm just sad. I'm sad because I had such a good life with you. It feels like it was just yesterday, but it's just gone now. It's strange that he can remember his past life so vividly. The feeling of his brain being semi-normal. Devin squeezes him tighter. You always talked about the new you, and how we'd just have to wait for him to get here. We'll have a new life. It'll just be a rough couple of months, maybe a bit longer. Cameron sniffles. What day is it anyway? Like the 15th? The 24th, I think. I forgot that your birthday was last week. I just remembered now. Devin laughs. Honestly, me too. Damn. We might be away from Brian, but I'm still getting stressed. Anyway, let's continue. The hardest thing about that particular argument for Devin was that he completely empathized with Cameron. He can't imagine being in that situation, made to take a meditation that changes him so fundamentally that he's not in full control of his movements, or even his breathing. The coyote is justified in being angry, sad, childish, and sometimes outright spiteful. That doesn't mean that it isn't unsettling seeing that Cameron lash out and cry in ways Devin had never seen him come close to before. At points, it feels like he's watching the deconstruction of a life in real time. It leaves his stomach feeling hollow and sick, like it did days after Brian had a go at it. The thought of the old bear makes Devin so angry that now he wishes that man was still alive. At least then there'd be a chance for him to try and knock out a few more of his teeth in court during the victim impact statement or something. And the stress continues to build as Cameron's condition remains unstable. The transfer was scheduled for November, and Devin is trying to type up an extremely apologetic and profound email to explain the situation, and also request a possible video made to delay the transfer. It's a reasonable request, especially considering the state of the world at the moment. No! No more. No more. No more. No more. No more. We done with this. Oh my god! But then, seemingly out of nowhere, his breathing picks up speed. Confused, Devin watches as the edges of his vision begins to darken. Oh yeah, it's Devin this time. He can't figure out why he suddenly feels like as if he's going to pass out. The first thing that comes to Devin's mind is Arturo's older brother who died of a pulmonary embolism after what was supposed to be a simple surgery. The one that already talked about casually while high, even though Devin knows he's still devastated by it. Devin stands up from his desk, walking, then sitting to the ground as the room spins. Cam? I need help. Please, I can't. Before he can stop himself, he blurts out Cameron's name, simultaneously questioning whether that's a good idea or not. Cameron seeing his boyfriend die in front of him won't exactly help his mental state, so it's better that he's probably sleeping like a rock right now. He pulls out his phone as he's on his knees, having pressed the 9 and 1 before a very groggy, sedated Cameron comes in. His expression of bleary confusion turned into fear. Don't worry, I just can't catch my fucking breath. A look of recognition comes over the coyote's face, and, kneeling in front of Devin, he presses the bear's head against his chest. Devin, it's okay. We're okay. Breathe with me. Devin's not sure if that's what the problem is, but after just a few seconds it stops. Are you okay? I've never seen you like that before. Devin sees Cameron's neck twitch multiple times, and he immediately feels like an idiot. Here he is having a stupid breathless panic attack while Cameron is having vocal tics that force him to almost pass out from not being able to breathe. Devin tries to get him to go back to bed, but Cameron sleeps on the sofa in the study, determined to be there if Devin needs him again. While Devin feels like he should be the one doing the comforting right now, he is glad to have Cameron there. So that's what the coyote feels like when he's panicking. A scary moment, but Devin doubts he'll let the feeling sneak up on him again, now that he's familiar with it. He had considered therapy and medication, like he's constantly trying to find for Cameron, but a part of him has to admit that he's scared too, after seeing what the coyote had to go through. Besides, he's not bad enough that he needs that help. He'll settle on what always helped him deal with stress in the past, which is being active. Exercise would be good for both of them, actually. Once he sends his email, he'll figure out how to renew both of their gym memberships, assuming the place is still even open. Ooh, yeah, true. It's the baby. Devin steps out of the gym, taking a deep breath of the frigid February air. There aren't many cars or people on the street. Not this early on a Saturday morning. Probably because they're sleeping in like they should be. Devin instinctively begins to reach out for Cameron's paw. But he's not there. He hasn't been there for a while now. Almost a year. Well, what he used to be is there. At home. In the urn, sitting on Cameron's old dresser. Along with all the Coyote's other little possessions that Devin had. What? 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 It hurts even more because it's almost certain that Cameron would have loved this. What? He would do a better job. What? No way, no, 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 no. He would do a better job remembering that Cameron isn't right next to him if... Quit thinking about me like I'm dead. I'm not. I'm thinking about you like you're physically gone. I do miss being physically present. I guess I could be dead, but it doesn't really matter. You're not dead, I'm just like your vessel now. That is such a creepy word. Just say I'm like your passenger. By the way, you reek. It's Saturday, so I don't have work. Besides, I'm not taking a shower when their air dryer temperature is room temperature. I mean, I didn't say I didn't like it. It's from a fresh workout. Different grunts as he makes his way through the parking lot towards his car. You person yourself really hard, to be honest. Take it easier next time. Taking it easy is what got you hurts. Anyway, the more echoes we can kill off, the better. I doubt we'd have that much of an impact, Devin. This shit is old. Ancient, even. It's a lot bigger than us in a lot of different ways. I just wanted to see how well this works out. If it can be done, maybe we can tell others about it, start a movement. To kill off haunted places at the source? But how many people have their dead boyfriend in their head giving them psychic abilities? So Cameron, did Cameron, kill himself? Or something? This game's really fucked up, y'all. This game's really fucked up. I guess let's continue. Well, I won't tell him that part, just the sighted part. Gotta take credit for my abilities? Hey, I've learned to fight too. You see how much I've been built up. Devin flexes his muscles underneath his winter coat and padding. Muscles he wished he had when he fought Brian. I didn't know you could punch ghosts, and I wish you did a different coach. He beats on you way too hard. I knew what I was getting into. Anyway, remember about the source. Usually some shitty person feeding these places. Oh, well, punching real people sounds worse, actually. Either way, this is all a good workout. You should try. Devin catches himself halfway through saying it. Even though he knows it's coming, even though he tries to stop it, the imagery of Cameron's ruined face flashes through his mind. He should just be happy that the coyote is still talking to him. That he's still with him. Kind of. I miss you. Please don't do that, Devin. I'm right here. I want to hold you. You basically are, and I'm giving you a big emotional hug right now. I might also be feeling out your muscles too because you have bulked up nicely. Devin laughs and wipes his eyes. Thanks, Cam. Cameron watches all of this, but not that Cameron in Devin's head. The Cameron that avoided the shotgun that survived. He's had these dreams a few times. At first, he simply thought them to be traumatic memories from a traumatic event. But this is one of those dreams that feels so real that he almost can't tell he's dreaming. They're not really nightmares either. Usually they're mundane, kind of funny, and kind of sad. The dreaming Cameron, for some reason, doesn't trust this passenger camera at all. This version of himself feels off, almost like there isn't even a... What's going on? What the fuck is going on? Almost like there isn't even a soul to go with him. Otherwise, he sounds and acts like he does, or did before the diagnosis. It makes him wonder if he'd trade off given the opportunity. Cameron isn't waking up, so with little else to do, he reaches out mentally and digs into this other Cameron a bit deeper. What he sees lasts only a second. After tearing out Brian's throat, this Cameron immediately began communicating with Devin. It's not an illness, not like what Cameron has, but it's still Echo. It's part of that town, and Cameron doesn't want this Devin to... Devin, he's... What? What the fuck is happening right now? What the hell's happening? I'm, like, almost crying, and now I'm getting... What the hell? Is this a Shyamalan twist? What the hell? Hallie, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why would you write this? Devin, he's back. A feeling difficult to describe comes over Cameron. It's something from that dead Cameron. The entity that acts and talks like Cameron. The thing that's currently attached to that Devin. He's tied up, bound with rope with a foul-tasting rat gagging him. The big bear had been gone for over an hour, but no matter how hard he tries, he can't make the zip ties and chains. But what the fuck is happening? And then his stomach turns, and the meal Brian had brought him at the bar starts to come back up. He's going to throw up, but he's chained down on his back with a gag in his mouth. He's going to throw up and he's going to drown. Vomit floods his mouth. Cameron leaps out of bed, one paw over his muzzle. He stubs his toe horrifically on the doorframe to the bathroom, bending back the closet that is left bleeding almost dripped out. But he makes it to the toilet in time to retch out the small amount of whatever it is in his stomach. His name was Alan. Rat, Cameron thinks. But the coyote can't remember the last name. The last name of the man who drowned in his own vomit. Cameron sobs, both for himself and for the poor young rat that lived a short, hard life only for it to end by choking on the shitty food Brian lured him in with. After a minute, the coyote calms down and listens, thankful that Devin is an incredibly heavy sleeper. What he's seen definitely happened. Even though the police stopped trying to interview him after learning about his schizophrenia diagnosis, he was still put on in an anonymous tip tomorrow. Cameron knows there's at least twice as many victims that the police know about, and he plans to report every single one that he sees. What?
Summer 2021. What the fuck is happening in this game? So wait a minute, was that Devin? Was that scene with Devin like from that part of the game where Brian actually did shoot Cameron and Cameron didn't take the next step? Was that alternate reality? Was that it? Did I suffer for nothing? Oh god. Half a year later, Cameron finally starts to feel as if he's starting to live life again. Not his old life. Yes, that was it. Why the fuck would they add that? That was so fucked up! I almost cried. What the hell? Not his old life, but a new, unfamiliar one. Tapering down his meds along with exercising definitely helped. Which is why he came here with Devin to visit Arturo. When he sees his old friend, he feels a bit better, just based on the shape of his amalgamation. It's a bit more full, and while it's still damaged, it's also at peace. Cameron knows that feeling. He's different now, and he's accepted that. But he's still Arturo, which the cat has come to accept too. He's just different now. Changed, like everyone changes. A terrible, dramatic change, but one that can happen to anyone. Things always tend to get worse, but then they tend to get better too. And Cameron knows this by just looking at her. He didn't suffer for nothing though. It was confirmation that the voices in people's heads aren't actual ghosts, just paranormal entities mimicking dead people or something like that. Yes, I did know. I was catching onto that. I was like, wait a minute. So Devin was feeling comfort in this entity that claims to be Cameron, but it was just pretend to be Cameron, and the real Cameron from the other reality. Like, stop that. True. And Cameron knows this just by looking at Arturo. While the cowardly did just want to see his old friend, he also wanted to know a few other things. His methods are morally questionable, but he justifies it since he is tired of being kept in the dark. An hour before they get there, Cameron eats a piece of chocolate from the backpack he brought for their stay at the motel. Devin complains when Cameron says that it was the last one, but the cowardly knows the bear would lose his mind if he knew what exactly Cameron did. And that was microdosing psilocybin. Stupid, idiot, unbelievable when it could cause him severe lasting damage. Idiots. It might have been what triggered his schizophrenia, but his abilities increased tenfold even on this tiny amount. Besides, it made him feel better. Of course, he'd tell Devin when more time has passed, but the bear has shown almost zero interest in the paranormal as of late. Maybe he'll just tell him if he's taking it for the mood lift. For now, he just wants to take in the emotions of conversation. Well, what I'm trying to do is get rid of this damn limp. That's what most people notice most, if I'm not talking. Oh, he has like a stutter? Damn. Cameron smiles pleasantly despite the fact that Arturo is more guarded and fortified mentally than anyone else he's met, which is the last thing he had expected. I actually didn't even notice. Oh well, you will next time you see me walk. Anyway, I hear you're working on your masters, Devin? Look at them holding hands, literally! Every stutter, every struggle feels like a physical blow to Cameron, but he tries not to show it. He knows Artie doesn't want useless pity right now, and Cameron always hated it too. Yep, up at the University of Deseret. I want to be between them. I think we all want to be between them. We all want to be between them. Mm-hmm. Sweet. In what? Mechatronics or robotics? Of course. And how's that, how's that progressing? Good, just finished my first semester. And the place you're working at? They're financing it? That's really quick. I'm at the same company.
It was always part of the plan once we moved. I still gotta graduate for them to reimburse my tuition, though. No pressure. I don't know how he does it all. Work, school, cooking, gaming, and you're just good at all of it. That's just like him. He'd party and drink the night before a final, then ace it while hungover. Cameron is close enough to Devin to feel the steam flush under his fur. While some might find Devin to be overly humble, it has more to do with a sort of imposter syndrome. Same! Aren't you to that, honey? Cameron knows it must be awkward to be praised for not having to study or work as hard as his fellow students and co-workers. Despite that, Cameron still feels proud knowing his boyfriend has already inched into a leadership position at the company. He has no doubt the bear will be doing incredible things in his career. So, how are things going for you? What are you doing these days? Weren't you thinking about going back to work at that specialized school? Yup, Spectrum Solutions Academy, and I'm already back. Went back as soon as I got vaccinated. Still on RBT, working with kids with low functioning autism. Aww? How is it? Great. It was almost like going back home. I'm supposed to have like 2 clients, but they got about 5 on me now. They were so happy to see me, but they can tell something's a bit off about me though. Sounds a bit rough. Is your recovery still going well? Artie visibly draws him into himself a bit. I like to call it a process these days, but most noticeable parts of the recovery is over, I think. Oh, I see. It's silence for just a second too long. Cameron's slow response is mainly due to being distracted, having finally deciphered Artie's general thoughts, feelings, and emotions. Huh. In that moment, that guard had slipped, and Cameron realizes Artie knows he's psychic. Of course he told him that, but now he knows it, truly believes it, and for the past almost 2 years, he realized how much of this happened because of Cameron. Arturo is afraid of Cameron. The cat senses the strangeness, the obviousness of who Cameron is now. Arturo also wonders if it's possible that the coyote brought a piece of Echo into the house with him. Oh. That shadow entity? It entered him and never came back out as far as Arturo knows. Who's to say it's not still... Maybe it's like a management phase? That's what Cam calls it anyway, right honey? Devin, probably confused by the tension, tries to add more to the conversation. That's right. That piece of shit hurt you pretty badly too, huh? Yeah, really, it's the schizophrenia I was diagnosed with afterwards that I'm still trying to manage. Cameron brings up his diagnosis, if only to look for some sympathy, understanding. For a moment, Arturo's expression becomes one of genuine sadness. God. Yeah, Devin mentioned that a while back. I'm really sorry you're going through that, Cameron. Was it from that... What was it from what happened? I hope it wasn't the weed. No, I'm pretty sure it's what happened after that pushed me over the edge. I see. That makes sense. Do they think it would have happened anyway, eventually? Cameron shrugs. Maybe. They think I might have been in a prodromal state for years. Looking back, I can tell that I was on the brink for a while. But he'll never know. For that moment, though, he feels like he and Artie had made a connection. Artie understands that they have completely different problems, but they're both life-changing, and the two of them are bound to these problems for the remainder of their lives. But then Artie senses that darkness, that bit of echo emanate from Cameron again, and he mentally recoils. Ooh. It's been a rough road, but we managed to find some stability at the end of the last year. God, it's been such a pain in the ass trying to sell it on the right meds. That took Maria a few years, I think. Hey, Maria? Hey, Maria! There's some rustling from the hallway, and a young leopard comes into the living room. Maria clearly haven't been very nearby in the hall. Why'd you go? What? Oh yeah. Just wanted to give you guys some space. We were just talking about how long did you get to adjust to meds. Maybe you could give him a vice again? Aww! I love this! This is so cute. I love it. Wait, I want to read Cameron. I want to read Artie's shirt. Let's see. What the fuck does that even say? Self something. Self something. Esteem, love, belonging. I have no idea what it says. Self-actualization. Why is it so hard to read then? What the fuck? Oh, that's cute. But anyway, this is a really adorable CG. Ow. She leans in to give Arturo a kiss, and Arturo takes it without a single hint of embarrassment or annoyance. Another solid rock in Artie's life, and one that will stay until the end. While Cameron would normally never invade someone's mind like this, the cowardly doubts he'll have many chances to do so again in the future. He needs to know if Artie's on a good track or not. I wrote that as self-sexualization. Given Artie, I wouldn't have been surprised if it was that. Maria turns to Cameron, and because they themselves have been friends for years, even a little longer than he's known Devon, he can tell that this is really set up. Oh yeah, antidepressants, antipsychotics, mood stabilizers. It feels like I've been through almost all of them. Yeah, they make me want to sleep all day, but also tear out my fur and crawl on my skin. I remember feeling that way all the time. I guess you kind of get used to it, or it got better, but it depends on the person, of course. Cameron likes Maria a lot, and just like Devon and Arturo, they slip back into the old swing of things. It's nice, but you can't help but notice how he's been swept out of the conversation with Arturo. Anyway, the main reason I went back to work this early is because I needed something to feel normal again. Sure, things are harder now. Stuttering, memory is shit. Can't really depend on the right side of my body anymore. But fuck, is it nice not being cooped up in here wishing things were different? The only thing work has complained about is I guess my inhibitions are a bit lower than they used to be. Which must mean they're non-existent now, right? I swear I'm not trying to be a dick, but I haven't even noticed that. Huh? Oh yeah, they said something about too many words, too little tats, like 3 years ago, so I'm pretty sure it's just me but magnified. Cameron turns his full attention back to his own conversation. The efforts of trying to figure out what's going on while keeping up with what's being said is far too difficult. I can kind of tell that it might be affecting you now, but sometimes it's hard to tell the side effects from symptoms of psychosis, especially the residual negative symptoms. I mean, positive symptoms are obvious, but making your thoughts flow normally again? Making yourself want to go back outside, talk to people, live? That tends to come back last, and sometimes it might come back a bit different. Maria has been suffering from a disorder for years longer than Cameron, and he senses her reluctance to say what might happen. Sometimes it doesn't come back, and you always wish to just be who you used to be, but you learn to live with it. Now, while he tries to hold a conversation about psychotropic medications with Maria, he realizes how much things have changed. In fact, if Cameron's visions hold true, this will be one of the last of the handful of times he'll speak to Artie. It hurts. It leaves Cameron feeling a deep pit of guilt, shame, and even a little anger, but mostly because it's unfair, and he can't blame himself, and he can't blame anyone. But as he watches his old friend laugh and talk to Dev, almost like what happened never happened, Cameron sees a long, solid friendship ahead of them, and he's happy for that. Cameron realizes, even without having to read minds, that Maria is specifically there to keep Cameron distracted, to keep him away from Arturo. That finally shows up the psychic part of Cameron's brain. Rather than leaving a hollow feeling, he's left feeling like he's been punched. Why are they treating him like a monster? Like he's the one. The final thought he receives is from Maria, and deep down under her concern for Cameron's diagnosis, she's wondering if he's prodding at Arturo's mind. Arturo can sense him. His own sensitivity is subtle, almost too understated to be picked up on. But it's there, and that's why he feels like Cameron is carrying Echo with him. Cameron is mainly worried that Arturo knows what he's doing right now, and his neck and cheeks become warm, feeling like he's been caught in the act for the first time. Then Maria mentions something about how she has tardive dyskinesia, and Cameron focuses back on their conversation, genuinely curious if it's gone better for her at time. And that's how the rest of the afternoon plays out. The reason he'll only see Arturo 2 or 3 more times in his life isn't because of Arturo or Maria. It's because Cameron knows he can't come back here and cause him stress like this. Cameron is no longer part of their lives, and he simply can't be, no matter how hard any of them try. Despite the hurt from learning their thoughts about him, Arturo's future is, if he has to sum it up, a happy one. And who can ask for any more than that? But he had worked hard to get on the right track, and even though Cameron knows luck is just as important in these life-altering experiences, seeing Artie content gives him hope. Damn. Oof. Is it raining? Is it snowing? March 2023. Is a hurricane a-blowing? Time continues on its unsteady, unrelenting march, and brings with it both good and bad. The pandemic falls into the background. Global instability and war comes to the forefront, and still is. Money becomes tighter, it still is. And the world keeps moving on, as it always will. Yep. It still leaves Devon almost breathless at the idea that he changed their lives in one weekend. While he has never really personally hated anyone to the point that he just wanted to hurt them, he does now. But that person is dead. He got the easy way out. For the first year, Devon wasn't sure how he'd continue his life. Cameron was either always sedated to the point of almost becoming unresponsive, or angry and sad to the point that he'd just sit in the bathroom and cry. The feeling of helplessness, of knowing that Cameron wanted to be dead, that he didn't know so much that he even told the bear he'd take opioids again if he could. And so Dev started doing things he didn't want to do. Checking Cameron's drawers, pockets, and inside the closet when he wasn't around. He's angry at the medical professionals who sent Cameron home because he simply had intrusive thoughts. This had relieved Cameron, though Devon wasn't sure. In fact, he knew it wasn't right. But Cameron was so happy, and it seemed to stop the episode. But then, over the next 2 days, he was in a deep psychosis state. Oh. His intrusive thoughts were actually thought insertions, and by the time they got back to the hospital, he was screaming that he was actually dead. He accused Devon of planting speakers in the walls and video cameras in the mirror, which he shattered. Over that first month, it was a normal sight to see Cameron stand up in bed, brushing away non-existent buds, completely unresponsive to anything Devon would say. But that's 2 years behind them now. And Cameron is finally starting to really live and become someone who seems to enjoy life again. Because while the positive symptoms of delusions and hallucinations have been practically absent over the past year, the negative symptoms lingered. Devin had read about that over and over again. Lack of motivation, lack of interest in things that once gave pleasure, lack of expressive emotions, and moments of confusion and disorganized thoughts. It was the anhedonia that scared Cameron the most. It scared Devin too, because what's a life worth living if you don't want to do the things you trained and aspired to do most of your life? Despite being able to listen to music again, Cameron decided a few months ago to finally hang up his guitar. Cameron's paw is still weak, and still has a slight tremor to it when he holds it up. But Cameron hasn't touched his keyboard either, leaving it unplugged and dusty in their basement. The sight made Devin far more sad than it did Cameron. He still wonders if he'd been more of an advocate for Cameron. Maybe push for further observation? They could have stopped the psychosis before it truly spiraled. Maybe he'd be his old self. What's wrong?
You reading my mind again?
No, I can read your face. Devin doesn't want to bring down Cameron's mood. He's the one that wanted to come out and walk around in the snow, and if Cameron wants to do something engaging and active, Devin will do it with him. It is strange that they got so much of it in March, and it probably would be the last snowfall.
I'm starting to realize how out of shape I am. Do you think I'm starting to get a gut like a bad one?
Aren't you on the thinner side of it for a bear nearing 30? Cameron makes a point of looking at Devin's midsection, then prods at it, making the bear huff. Whoa, it is kinda squishy. Devin blushes.
You caught me by surprise. You just got done saying I wasn't fat.
You're not fat, you're a bear. I just didn't think I'd feel the punch through your coat. Cameron tries again, but as expected, Devin is tensed up and there's little squishing to be had this time.
Let's sit down.
Devin points at a spot on the bench where the snow had already been brushed away, probably by another couple enjoying the snow. Hey, I hope I'm not annoying you. Devin closes his eyes in guilt, taking a deep breath.
No, I'm just worried about different things. But happy to be out here walking with you. It's good for the gut anyway.
Cameron rolls his eyes as they sit down. I'm getting chubbier too, you know. It happens, and I love your body. If you want to fool around tonight, I can have a closer look. Cameron leans against Devin's shoulder.
Only if I get to look at you too.
Deal. If we deem each other to be too chubby, we can renew our gym memberships and go on a diet or something. Devin finds it strange that Cameron is the one usually cheering him up now. But the bear feels the Coyote's head twitch against him gently, a remnant and reminder of what they went through over the past few years. It also makes Devin realize the Coyote is worried about him, and the bear wishes he wouldn't be. Gently, he leans in to nuzzle Cameron, and he kisses his Coyote. As he kisses his Coyote, he realizes that this is a good moment in his life. A day he'll look back on fondly. A day he'll look back on for comfort when the harder days inevitably come. Devin glances up at the temple they're sitting across the street from.
I always wondered what that golden dude with a stick is doing up there.
It takes Cameron a few seconds to understand what Devin is talking about. That guy on top of the guy on top of Mormon temples? That's the Angel Moroni, and he's holding a horn. He buried then helped recover the gold plate. Which he buried then helped recover the gold plates.
How do you know that?
Some Mormon friends told me.
Oh, Cody the bull?
Yeah. You thinking about converting? Maybe they ever become okay with this. Cameron leans in close to Devon again. Devon smiles and they hold each other for a while. The coyote's head twitches against Devon's again, but Devon knows the way into it the cannon is way to tell him what's on his mind. Devon, did you ever find what you were looking for? Devon immediately knows what Cameron is referring to, and it makes his stomach twist into knots. I'll only bring it up this once, but I keep thinking about why we went in the first place. I just wonder if you were able to, you know, figure stuff out. Devon stares down at Cameron, knowing that he's being genuine, hoping that Devon somehow found some peace in that hell. And even though Coyote isn't intentionally pointing out Devon's facade of failures into catastrophic unrecoverable disaster, he feels it. I figured out that it doesn't matter. It isn't worth finding out. And that I need to focus on us. Devon feels the sting of tears in his eyes, but forces it back. I figured out I made a huge mistake and deeply hurt my friends. Brian hurt us. Cameron says it almost instantly. You just don't seem as happy or outgoing as you used to be. I know you're really busy with work and you just got your master's degree, which is so cool, but you seem... Hey, it's like you said. We change. It's not really a divide, right? It's like chapters in our lives. We change with each one, and the last one we went through was brutal. There will be good changes in the next ones. Yeah, but nothing stays the same. We don't fully recover or become who we were again. And still, we always want to go back to how it used to be. Devon feels a deep twinge in his chest, thinking about what life would be like now if he just made the right turn. It's like how they say you can never go home again, because home isn't just a place, but it's people. And it's at a certain time, and when it ends, it ends. You can never get it back. Baby, I love you so much, and I know it sounds dumb as hell, but I can be your home. I'll be around as long as you want me to be, so you can always go home. I always will. Sorry for being such a downer. I honestly feel at home with you. You're the only home I got. But you know what's weird? I sense a love from that temple, and I've sensed it in other spiritual places too. Like those Buddhist shrines we saw downtown, even those little shops where you see mediums and psychics. It feels like they're taking in energy and letting energy out too. Like a portal. What do you think that means? I guess that there's hope for everyone. Lupita, Artie, you and me, and that maybe instead of nothing, there's... Devon, overwhelmed with grief, happiness at love and loss, kisses Cameron. Yes! Oh my god! Finally. They kiss for a long time, and Devon desperately hopes Cameron is right, because more than anything, he wants to start fresh again, and do it right. For now, though, he is here with his husband, sitting and watching the snow fall silently, and that's okay. Husband! Husband! Marriage confirmed! Marriage confirmed! Woo! We'll drink to that. Let's continue. Because whether they disappear forever or grow somewhere else, it'll be together. Devon feels a little hope reigniting his chest. There might be something. There might be nothing. But he's content to wait and find out. Besides, that will be a long way away. He's sure. Not until they're 110 after all. created and written by Hallie. Sprite art and character design, Paint Fox. Music by Anthemis and master by Frozen Treasure. Also, Anthemis recently released the entire artist soundtrack on Spotify and I think on Spotify and other like musical platforms. So go check the soundtrack out. It is so pretty. Background art by Tardamon. Illustrations, Paint Fox. Literally, props. Give everyone their fucking flowers. Everyone who works on this game, give them their fucking flowers. Additional art, Paint Fox, Tardamon, and Orion. Oh my god, this was so good. Programming Hallie, additional programmers Orion, Star, Watson. Literally. But also, Splash and main menu animation by Drum Studios has been popping off lately. They've been making so many like menu animations for other people. Sound effects, sound blocks. I will say this. Special thanks to Zeke, to Rad, to Miss Stinny, and to Blind. Honestly, this is one of the best VNs I played, and it doesn't even have any gameplay. Made with visual novel engine Renpy. Also, let me tell you something on this. I bet you the people who call Hallie a bad writer only played Ad Astra. And even then, Ad Astra's is not even badly written. Thank you to all the patrons and everyone who made this project possible. Yeah, no, Ad Astra was not even close to being badly written. Like, what the fuck? These people have weird, like, I don't know what they expect. This. Arches! We completed the game! We've been through hell and back. And it's just worth it. Oh my god. This has to be like one of the top like visual novels I've ever played as well. Most people don't seem to know the difference between this isn't for me and this is bad. They just don't. They just think Ad Astra is poorly written because of Amicus. What? Whoa! 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 Do I press this but wait. Do I press this? Ooh, this is fun. This is intriguing. I never pressed that. Okay, just reading the first for everything. Whoa, 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 what the fuck is happening? Oh shit, I think it's not. Okay. I was wondering. Okay, so. Did it just reset the game? I don't know, but I'm pretty sure clicking on Cameron gives you one of the side stories that I heard that the game came out with. Ooh. Ooh, this is so cool. Let's see, wait.
Okay. I will say this. You will see another stream in the future where I title the side stories. This is gonna be fun. Wait, I'm reading like the itchio page for it. I'm like, okay, Kevin's short stories, CG edited. Okay, extended by adding both of his short stories into one. The first story was okay, so he had like 2 short stories, but now they're combined into one. The first story was previously a Patreon exclusive, and then we did Devin's short story, Vessels, added to the main game, accessible after the credits. Oh, let's check the gallery. Locked? Oh, these are the CGs for the short stories. Oh, hell yeah. Let's see. Okay, so I guess they could be clicked if you just click on them. But anyway, that's it for Arches, where at least the main story. I'll be definitely doing another stream where I title the side stories. Hopefully they're long enough for a stream. But hey, dude, we're about like an hour and 30 minutes into this. Oh my god, this was legitimately amazing. Holy shit! I feel like everyone should go play this game. Oh my god. Well, anyway, thank you all so much for watching. If you're watching the VOD, subscribe to my channel. And if you want to, watch real-time streams, follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/XenoThatBoy. And also check the YouTube community posts, or my Twitter, or my Blue Sky, while I post stream updates, and a bunch of other things. Mostly on Blue Sky now. But yeah, oh my god, this was amazing. It did mess with my emotions though in the halfway mark. But you know what? It's worth it. But anyway, thank you all so much, and I will see you in the next stream. Bye bye.